Leia had never said a single word in her whole life. Not mama, not papa, not even yes or no. She was 7 years old, and her voice had been locked away inside her throat like a bird trapped in a cage. No matter how hard she tried, no sound would come out except for little breaths and quiet sighs. Her father was one of the richest men in the entire city. His name was Mr. Anand, and he owned tall buildings that touched the clouds. He had so much money that he could buy 100 cars, 1,000 toys, or 1,000,000 candies if he wanted to. But he couldn't buy his daughter a voice. He had taken Leia to every doctor in the country. Famous doctors, smart doctors, doctors who wore fancy white coats and had shiny tools. They looked inside her throat with bright lights. They did tests. They scratched their heads and said, "We don't understand. Her throat is fine. Her tongue is fine. Everything is fine, but she still cannot speak." Mr. Anand spent mountains of money on treatments. He tried medicine from faraway lands. He brought in specialists who flew in on private planes. Nothing worked. Leia stayed silent, her big brown eyes watching the world but never making a sound. Today, Mr. Anand had brought Leia to the city square. It was a bright, noisy place filled with people. Vendors sold colorful balloons. Street musicians played happy songs. Children ran around laughing and shouting. Everyone had a voice except Leia. She held her father's hand tightly as they walked through the crowd. Her father's face looked tired and sad. He had heard about a new doctor in the city, someone who might be able to help. They were on their way to meet him. Suddenly, someone bumped into them. It was a girl, smaller than Leia, maybe 6 years old. Her clothes were torn and dirty, covered in brown and gray stains. Her hair was messy and full of tangles, like it hadn't been brushed in months. Her face had streaks of dirt across her cheeks, and her feet were bare and dusty. She was holding something in her hands, a small, old bottle. The bottle looked like it had been found in a garbage pile. It was cloudy and scratched, and inside was a thick, murky liquid that looked like muddy water mixed with herbs. The girl stared at Leia with wide, hopeful eyes. "Please," the girl whispered, "I can help your daughter." Mr. Anand pulled Leia back quickly, his face turning red with anger. "Get away from us," he shouted. "You dirty beggar. Don't touch my daughter." People in the crowd turned to look. Some of them pointed and whispered. Others laughed. But the ragged girl didn't move. She held up the bottle higher, her small hand shaking. "My name is Maya," she said, her voice soft but strong. "I know your daughter cannot speak. I was like her once. I couldn't talk either. But my grandmother made this drink for me, and it saved me. It gave me my voice back." Mr. Anand's eyes narrowed. "You're lying. You're just a street child trying to trick me. That bottle probably has poison in it." "It's not poison," Maya said, her eyes filling with tears. "I promise. My grandmother was a healer. She knew about plants and roots and special mixtures. She gave this to me when I was sick and silent, just like your daughter. After I drank it, I could finally talk. I could finally tell her I loved her before she died." The crowd around them grew bigger. People whispered to each other, "Look at that filthy girl. She probably stole that bottle from somewhere. Why would Millionaire listen to a beggar? This is ridiculous." Mr. Anand's face was like stone. "I don't have time for this nonsense. My daughter has been seen by the best doctors in the world. What could a homeless girl possibly know that they don't?" Maya's lips trembled, but she didn't back down. She looked straight at Leia. "I know what it feels like," Maya said quietly. "I know what it's like to have so many words inside you, but no way to let them out. I know how it feels when people talk about you like you're not even there. I know how lonely silence can be." Leia's eyes went wide. Something in Maya's words touched her heart. This girl understood. This girl knew exactly how she felt. For the first time, Leia let go of her father's hand. She took one small step toward Maya. "Leia, no." Mr. Anand reached for her, but Leia moved faster. She looked at the murky liquid in the bottle. It didn't look pretty. It didn't look safe. It looked strange and scary. But Maya's eyes were kind. "Just a little sip," Maya whispered. "That's all. Just try it. What if it works?" What if you could finally talk? What if you could tell your papa you love him? Leia's heart was beating fast. Her hands were sweating. Around them, the crowd was getting louder. Don't let her drink that. It could be dangerous. Someone stop this. Mr. Anand grabbed Leia's shoulder. Don't you dare touch that bottle. I forbid it. But Leia looked up at her father with tears in her eyes. She had spent 7 years in silence. 7 years of not being able to say what she felt. 7 years of watching other children sing and laugh and call for their mothers. What if this was her only chance? Her small hand reached out slowly, fingers trembling, moving closer and closer to the mysterious bottle in Maya's hands. The crowd held its breath. Mr. Anand's face turned pale with fear. Maya's eyes filled with hope. And Leia's fingertips finally touched the cold glass of the bottle. The moment Leia's fingers touched the bottle, Mr. Anand exploded. "N.O.," he roared, his voice so loud that people 20 feet away jumped in surprise. He grabbed Leia's wrist and yanked her backward. "Are you insane? You want to poison my daughter?" Maya stumbled back, clutching the bottle to her chest. "I'm not trying to poison anyone. I'm trying to help." "Help." Mr. Anand's laugh was cold and mean. "You're a beggar, a street rat. You probably found that bottle in a dumpster. Who knows what's really in there? Dirty water? Chemicals? Diseases?" Tears rolled down Maya's dirty cheeks, leaving clean streaks on her face. "My grandmother made this. She was a good person. She helped people." "Your grandmother?" Mr. Anand sneered. "And where is she now? Probably dead because she drank her own terrible mixtures." The words hit Maya like a slap. Her whole body shook, and more tears poured from her eyes. "Yes," she whispered. "Yes, she's dead. She died last year. But not because of her medicine. She died because she was old and tired and had no money for a real doctor. She died because rich people like you wouldn't even look at her when she asked for help." The crowd got very quiet. Some people looked uncomfortable. Others looked away. Mr. Anand's face turned even redder. "How dare you speak to me like that? I should call the police and have you arrested." "For what?" Maya's voice got stronger, even though she was crying. "For trying to help? For caring about someone I don't even know? My grandmother taught me that everyone deserves kindness, even rich people who think they're better than everyone else." A woman in the crowd gasped. A man muttered, "That child is courage." But most people still looked at Maya like she was trash. Leia watched everything with wide eyes. Her heart hurt. She could see that Maya was telling the truth. She could feel it deep inside her chest. This girl wasn't trying to hurt her. This girl understood her in a way nobody else ever had. Maya wiped her tears with her dirty sleeve and looked at Leia again. "I know you're scared," Maya said softly. "I was scared too. I was 4 years old when I stopped talking. I got sick with a terrible fever, and after that, my voice just disappeared. My grandmother tried everything. She took me to doctors, but we didn't have money. They turned us away." "So your grandmother made that disgusting mixture?" Mr. Anand interrupted. "And you want my daughter to drink it? It's not disgusting." Maya said, "It has honey for sweetness. It has herbs that help the throat. It has roots that my grandmother said were magic. I don't know all the things in it. I just know that after I drank it, something changed. My throat felt warm. It tingled. And the next morning when I woke up, I could make sounds again. Small sounds at first, then words, then sentences." She held up the bottle, and the murky liquid inside swirled around. "My grandmother made extra bottles before she died. She told me to keep them safe. She said, 'Maya, if you ever meet someone like you used to be, someone who's lost their voice, give them this gift. Don't let them suffer like you did.'" Leia felt something strange happening in her chest. It was like a warm light was glowing there, getting brighter and brighter. She believed Maya. She didn't know why. She didn't have proof. But sometimes you just know when someone is telling the truth. Leia pulled away from her father's grip and stepped toward Maya again. "Leia, stop this right now," Mr. Anand commanded. His voice was shaking. He wasn't just angry anymore. He was terrified. What if something happens to you? What if you get sick? What if... Leia turned to look at her father. She couldn't speak, but her eyes said everything. They said, "Papa, I've been silent my whole life. I'm tired of being quiet. I'm tired of being afraid. Let me try." Mr. Anand saw the look in his daughter's eyes, and his anger crumbled. Suddenly, he just looked like a scared father who loved his child very much. "Please," he whispered, "please don't do this. I can't lose you. You're all I have." Leia's eyes filled with tears. She loved her papa so much. She knew he was trying to protect her, but she also knew she had to make her own choice. She reached out again for the bottle. This time, Mr. Anand didn't stop her. Maya carefully placed the bottle in Leia's small hands. The glass was cool and smooth. The liquid inside looked dark and mysterious. "Just a little sip," Maya repeated. "Not too much, just enough." The crowd pressed closer. Everyone wanted to see what would happen. Some people had their phones out, recording. Others were whispering prayers. A old man in the crowd shouted, "Don't do it, child. It could kill you." A young woman called out, "Maybe we should let her try. What if it really works?" Leia's hands trembled as she lifted the bottle toward her mouth. The smell reached her nose. It was strange, like flowers and dirt and something sweet all mixed together. Her father made a small sound, like a wounded animal, but he didn't move. He was letting her choose. Leia closed her eyes. She thought about all the birthdays when she couldn't blow out her candles and make a wish out loud. All the time she wanted to call for her mother, who had died when Leia was a baby. All the moments she wanted to laugh with other children, but could only smile silently. She thought about Maya, who understood her pain. She thought about the possibility, the tiny, fragile, beautiful possibility, that this might work. Leia opened her mouth. She tilted the bottle. The murky liquid touched her lips, cool and slightly thick. It tasted strange, sweet and bitter at the same time, with a flavor like old leaves and fresh honey. She took one small sip, then another. The liquid slid down her throat, and immediately something felt different. It was like swallowing warm sunshine. The liquid seemed to glow inside her, spreading heat through her chest and up into her neck. Her throat tingled, not in a bad way, but like tiny bubbles were popping there, waking up something that had been asleep for a very long time. Leia's eyes flew open. Everyone stared at her. The tingling got stronger. Her throat felt strange, like it was stretching and changing. It didn't hurt. It felt like a door that had been locked was slowly creaking open. Mr. Anand grabbed her shoulders. "Leia? Leia, are you okay? Say something. Make a sound. Anything." But Leia couldn't respond. Not yet. The sensation was too strong, too overwhelming. The warmth spread all the way up to her mouth, touching her tongue, her lips. Something was happening. Something impossible. Something miraculous. And in that moment, with hundreds of people watching and holding their breath, Leia felt the first word forming in her throat, a word that had been trapped there for 7 long years. The tingling in Leia's throat was getting stronger. It felt like 1,000 tiny stars were dancing inside her neck, sparkling and warm. The sensation moved up and down, tickling the place where her voice should have been all these years. Everyone in the crowd stood frozen, watching her. Not a single person moved. Not a single person breathed. Even the birds seemed to stop singing. Leia's father held her shoulders, his eyes red with fear and hope. "Leia? Baby? Can you hear me?" She nodded. Yes, she could hear him. But something else was happening. Something she had never felt before in her entire life. Her throat was opening. It was like a tight knot had been tied there for 7 years. And now, slowly, gently, that knot was loosening. The warm liquid from Maya's bottle was working its way through her, touching places that had been dark and silent. Maya watched with tears streaming down her face. "It's working," she whispered, "just like it did for me. I can see it working." The crowd began to murmur. "Is something happening? Look at her face. She looks different. This is impossible." Mr. Anand's hands were shaking. "Please," he whispered to his daughter, "please try. Try to say something. Anything. even just a sound. Leia wanted to try. She wanted it more than anything in the world, but she was also scared. What if she opened her mouth and nothing came out, just like all the other times? What if this was just another disappointment? Maya stepped closer and knelt down in front of Leia. Their eyes met, two girls who understood each other's pain. "Don't be afraid," Maya said softly. "I know it feels strange. I know it's scary. But your voice is there. It's been waiting for you. You just have to let it out." Leia felt something moving in her chest, like a bird flapping its wings, trying to escape. The feeling traveled up through her throat. It reached her mouth. She took a deep breath. She opened her lips. And then, the sound was tiny, barely a whisper, like a baby bird chirping for the first time. But it was there. It was real. It was her voice. Mr. Anand's eyes went huge. His mouth fell open. Did you just... Leia tried again. This time, the sound was a little stronger, a little clearer. "Pa! Pa!" A woman in the crowd screamed. "Oh my God! She's talking! The girl is talking!" Mr. Anand dropped to his knees in front of his daughter. Tears poured down his face. This strong, rich, powerful man was crying like a baby. "Say it again," he begged. "Please, say it again." Leia felt the warmth spreading through her throat again. It was easier this time. The path was open. The door was unlocked. She took another breath, bigger this time, filling her lungs with air. And then, in a voice that was soft but clear, a voice that had been silent for 7 long years, she said, "Papa." Mr. Anand grabbed his daughter and pulled her into his arms, sobbing so hard his whole body shook. "My baby, my precious baby. You spoke. You said my name." The crowd exploded with noise. People were cheering, clapping, crying. Strangers hugged each other. An old grandmother fell to her knees and started praying. A man threw his hat in the air. Children jumped up and down with excitement. "It's a miracle. I can't believe it. Did everyone see that?" The homeless girl's liquid worked. Leia was crying too, but they were happy tears. She had done it. She had actually done it. After 7 years of silence, she had finally spoken. But there was one more thing she needed to do. She pulled away from her father and turned to Maya. The ragged girl was standing there with tears on her face, smiling the biggest smile Leia had ever seen. Leia walked over to her. Then, using her new voice, her precious, miraculous, wonderful new voice, she said 2 words that came straight from her heart. "Thank you." Maya's smile got even bigger. "You're welcome," she whispered. Mr. Anand stood up slowly. He looked at Maya, and his whole face had changed. The anger was gone. The fear was gone. Instead, he looked ashamed. "I'm sorry," he said to Maya. His voice cracked. "I'm so sorry. I called you terrible names. I treated you like you were garbage. I judged you because of how you looked. But you gave my daughter the one thing I couldn't give her with all my money. You gave her a voice." Maya wiped her tears. "I didn't do it for thanks. I did it because I know what it's like. I know how it feels to be trapped in silence." Mr. Anand reached into his pocket and pulled out his wallet. "Please let me pay you. Let me give you money. Let me—" "No," Maya said firmly. "This isn't about money. My grandmother didn't make this medicine to sell it. She made it to help people. That's what matters." Mr. Anand stared at her. Then, slowly, he put his wallet away. Instead, he did something surprising. He knelt down in front of Maya. This rich, powerful man got on his knees in front of a homeless girl. "Then let me help you another way," he said. "You don't have to live on the streets anymore. You shouldn't have to beg or go hungry. Please, let me help you. Let me give you a home. Let me make sure you go to school. Let me honor your grandmother's memory by taking care of you." Maya's eyes got very wide. "Really? You would do that?" "It's the least I can do," Mr. Anand said. "You saved my daughter. You're a hero, and heroes deserve to be treated with respect and kindness." The crowd cheered even louder. Leia grabbed Maya's hand and squeezed it. Then, with her new voice, she said, "Please say yes. You could be my sister. Maya looked at Leah. Then she looked at Mr. Anand. Then she looked at all the people in the crowd who had called her names and treated her like trash just minutes ago. But she didn't look angry. She looked happy. Yes, she said. Yes, I'll say yes. Mr. Anand pulled both girls into a big hug. Leah laughed. Actually laughed out loud, a sound she had never made before. Maya laughed too, and Mr. Anand cried and laughed at the same time. The people in the crowd started clapping again. Some of them came forward with apologizes. I'm sorry I called you names, one man said to Maya. I'm sorry I didn't believe you, a woman admitted. You're braver than any of us, another person said. Maya accepted their apologies with grace. She wasn't mean about it. She just nodded and smiled. As the crowd began to spread out, talking excitedly about what they had witnessed, Mr. Anand held both girls' hands. Today I learned something important, he said. I learned that money can't buy everything. I learned that kindness is more valuable than gold. And I learned that miracles can come from the most unexpected places. Leah looked up at her father. With her new, beautiful voice, she said, I love you, Papa. Mr. Anand started crying again. I love you too, my precious girl. So much. Then Leah turned to Maya. And I love you too. You're my hero. Maya hugged her tight. You're my hero too, she whispered. As the three of them walked away from the city square together, hand in hand in hand, the sun seemed to shine a little brighter. The air felt a little warmer. And the world felt a little more full of hope. Because today, something impossible had happened. A voice that had been silent was now singing. A girl who had nothing gave away everything. And a rich man learned that the most valuable things in life can't be bought in stores. They can only be given from the heart. A message from the heart. This story reminds us that miracles happen when we have courage to trust, even when we're afraid. Maya had nothing. No home, no money, no family. But she had something more precious than gold. She had compassion. She saw someone suffering and chose to help, even though everyone around her said she was worthless. Sometimes the people we judge the most are the ones who have the most to teach us. The homeless person on the street corner might be wiser than a doctor. The child in dirty clothes might be braver than a soldier. We never really know someone's value until we look past their appearance and see their heart. Leah's father learned that lesson the hard way. He almost let his fear and prejudice stop a miracle from happening. But in the end, love won, trust won, and kindness won. Here's what we can learn. When someone who has nothing gives us everything, that's when we see the true value of humanity. Real wealth isn't measured in money or possessions. It's measured in how we treat others, especially those who can't do anything for us in return. Sometimes we have to take risks to find miracles. Leah was scared, but she chose to trust. And that choice changed her life forever. Every voice matters. Every person matters. Whether you're rich or poor, young or old, healthy or sick, you deserve to be heard. You deserve to be seen. You deserve to be valued. If this story touched your heart, please help us like this post if it moved you. Share it with someone who needs to hear this message today. Subscribe for more powerful stories that remind us of the beauty in humanity. Comment below and tell us, would you have trusted a stranger like Leah did, or would you have protected your child at any cost? What would you have done? Remember, the world needs more people like Maya, brave enough to give when they have nothing, kind enough to care when no one's watching, and strong enough to believe in miracles. Your voice matters. Your kindness matters. You matter. Thank you for reading. Now go out there and be someone's miracle today.